Originally they employed 29 people. From memory they cut that back to less than a dozen. We would be doing 5-6 times the volume of material now than what they were doing in those days. And you'd never get anyone today to work under the conditions that they used to work in. They did some test drilling further up and behind the limeworks, and that didn't show up anything different to really what they were working with. So then it became apparent that either they went out of business or found a new deposit of limestone. And then it became aware that they needed to find some more limestone and of a better quality, because the market was becoming more fussy on what it would accept. My father was driving down Middle Road to have a look at possibility of finding some limestone, and he met a friend of his, Mr. Mackenzie, and told him what he was doing, and he said, well, come and have a look what we've got around the corner. And this limestone was vastly different and of better quality than the Waimarama Road stuff. So they made an offer on acquiring the land in Middle Road in '63. They moved in almost immediately to try and get some lime out. They were mining it with explosives and loading it onto the trucks with front end loader, and then towing them back out onto the main road and sent them round to Waimarama Road, where it was put through the screening plant, still broken up with jackhammers if it was too big, and then they put that product through the kilns and made a hugely improved hydrated lime out of it, because it was vastly superior in quality and made out of shells, predominantly shells. So they would have gone from about late 70% limestone to 90% limestone. We put in a screening plant, and we took over to the limeworks only stone that was the right size, and left the fine material and the oversize over here for later production. In '68 we had to put in another kiln over here. We had the shell of a rotary kiln, and we brought it over here and put it into operation, and that was producing burnt lime for us on site. The advantages of rotary kiln was better burning of the product. Your product does not touch the fuel. By using that, you didn't have mixture of impurities of the coal, etc., into the lime, so it made a lot better lime. By this time they'd changed from burning coal to burning oil in the rotary kiln, and it burnt 1 gallon a minute. It cost a shilling a gallon, 10 cents a gallon. And the oversized bits had to be overburnt to guarantee that you actually had a full burn of the finer material as well. So it was proposed to put in a fluidised bed kiln. We started to build it in 1978, 79. It was of our own design. It was made up from machinery and gear that we had picked up from around other places, and it's evolved over the next 30 years to what it is today. Fluidised kiln is like the coal is mixed with the limestone when it goes in, and once you get the temperature up to above 400 degrees, the coal ignites spontaneously, and you are blowing your combustion air up from the bottom, which is causing it to make big bubbles of gas, and it just rotates around like looking into a jug of boiling water. Well, the advantage of our fluidised bed, well, it allowed us to produce burnt lime from lime sand. By using this lime sand, we were able to utilise all of the output of this quarry because it was so high and fine limestone. The kiln worked on a displacement basis. As it was fed in at one side, and by the time it had gone through the fluid bed process, it was discharged out on the other side of the fluid bed, and it took about 20 minutes. It runs without any labour. The rotary kiln had three 8-hour shifts, 7 days a week, and we now run the fluid bed kiln with virtually no labour except in the daytime when they fill the bins up and maintain it. I'd always wanted to go into the agricultural business because I thought we needed to have another string to our bow. Agricultural lime is fine ground limestone, which is calcium carbonate, and it is used in the farming sector to control the pH of the soils. We built that plant to produce agricultural lime, and the first year we had to sell 7,000 tonnes. Today we're producing about 60,000 tonnes. The deposit is 500 feet deep, but we are limited to what we can go down to before we strike water. So we would only be able to go down from the ground level we're on now. We'd be able to go down about another 20 to 25 metres, which we will do once we get the hill down to the level. The water underneath it is part of the aquifer, so we would be very limited to how deep we can go into that. We approached our neighbour and purchased another block of land which carries on up from our deposit that we're now working, and that will give us in the vicinity of 70 years of mining. There's about 11 million tonnes of limestone, and we bought that with the purpose of acquiring a good deposit for the future of this company. And with both the boys coming into the company, it gave them a good grounding to make a go of what their forebears have done. Back in 1997, our eldest son Nick joined our company, and he will now take you for a tour of the lime works.